Hello there. Welcome to Talking Balearics with me, Martin Makepeace, here in a very, very warm Ibiza.
And me, Richie Pryor in Mallorca. Summer's definitely here now, isn't it?
It certainly is, Rich. However, I was in the UK last week for 3 days, and I've got to tell you, mate, it was even hotter. I can confirm the UK was hotter than Ibiza for the first time ever in a long time.
And whereabouts in the UK were you, Mark?
I was in Nottingham watching the cricket, mate. I went over to watch the cricket for a day, which was great. And we'll go back to what we always say. Yeah. The UK is just not set up for heat. It was chaos, Rich. It really was.
I can imagine, and yeah, we always say it. I'd rather, Trent Bridge on a whatever afternoon. Was it Edgbaston or Trent Bridge?
It was Trent Bridge on a Thursday, but we're getting hammered in the cricket, mate. So the bar was okay, but it wasn't air conditioned, that's for sure.
Oh, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I nearly missed the flight on the way back on Friday because all the trains were cancelled. The hotel I was staying in had no air conditioning, so that was a nightmare. Didn't get any sleep. When I got the train back from Nottingham to Birmingham, because I flew back from Birmingham on Friday, I've never known a train compartment so hot in my life, Rich. So it just goes down to what we always say, it's the UK just can't handle it, can it?
No, well, it can't handle heat, can't handle cold, Mark. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm not here to bash the UK. However, no, listen, it was a good few days, mate. Really enjoyed it. Saw some family and friends, and good to get off the island for a few days.
Good. And are you up for the England captaincy, or are we?
Well, I'm going to throw my hat into the ring. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think the hat will be thrown straight back at me, like odd job style. So I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think.
When you say hat, do you mean like cloth cap or something or other?
Well, with a whippet and a newspaper as well. Listen, Stokes, time to go. I had a very interesting lunch with someone close to his inner circle not so long ago, and it was always going to happen this way. It just, I didn't particularly like the way it happened, but what happened was always going to happen. So, and don't forget, Rich, I was in Australia and watching us getting battered. So it's time for a change from the top to the bottom. What do we say? A root to branch change, I think is the phrase.
Well, we don't want a root, to be honest with you. He's no good as a captain.
No, he's the most useful. He's obviously a great batsman,
a great player, but yeah, not a good captain.
Useless captain. But anyway, this is Talking Balearics with myself and Richie Pryor in Mallorca and Ibiza, respectively, talking about the beautiful Balearic Islands. 1st of July today, Rich. I mean, it's not today; it's tomorrow actually. But we are obviously
end of June.
End of June, 1st of July, which when this podcast will go out. So things are about to change. So if you please can like, subscribe, comment, or just give us some feedback, or just send Richie over some pelters as normal. You'll
pass them on to me, won't you?
With great pleasure, Richie. With great pleasure. Rich, what have you got for me today, buddy?
I got news of your favourite airline, Mark, of course. Right. Yeah. I've also got the Magaluf Beach concert last Saturday. Yeah. News from there. News of a concert coming up, not a new one, but news of a concert coming up this week here in Mallorca, and massive Real Mallorca news for you.
Oh, hello. We like massive Real Mallorca. And before I go any further, Rich, I've got to say your blog was very good this week, mate. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, me and Julian were talking about it yesterday, and it was really positive, and it just highlighted that if you have a strategy, then and you're willing to go for it, then it works, doesn't it? So
yeah, it's funny when you know this, Mark, more than anybody. When you write something, you're not quite sure how it's going to go. Because you write something, and sometimes you think that's not sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it lands, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and that one did land. To be honest with you, it was great.
It was about just to fill in the blanks. It was about the change of Magaluf from a bucket and spade to luxury destination, wasn't it? So
it was sun, sand, sea, and sex, bucket and spade, all the way to basically a great destination, which I'm going to talk about today as well. So
fantastic. Well, I've got a few things for us, Rich. First of all, there's a campaign out from the San Antonio government with posters about, and it's gone viral this week. But I want to touch on it because I think it's more nuanced than maybe the viral videos, but as it always is, isn't it? The viral videos actually make it out to be. So I want to go into a bit of detail about that. Secondly, I want to talk about. Remember back in February, I was talking about the SuperBog in San An, the toilet, the public toilet. There's an update on that. It's not very good news, Rich, to be honest.
Oh, really? Is it full of it?
Yeah. No, Sherlock. I know that you're taking the what? You're taking the pee, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, very good.
We're going to have a few, aren't we?
Any others you can get out there?
Yeah, exactly. Also, another viral, obviously I've been on TikTok all week, as you can tell, another viral thing that came out last week from a Spanish influencer. Her son was over and he was complaining about the prices, but I want to go into the details about that because, as always, the nuts and bolts of it is always a little bit different. And also we've got a super group returning to Ibiza very shortly, which is going to cause massive ticket sales, and they're going to sell out. They're going to smash it out of the park, and I'll just go into that there. So they're my four thing. They're my fourth thing.
You know, I haven't heard about that one. So
have you noticed I've gone from 3 to 4 in the last few weeks, Rich? You know? Yeah. So got to get the news in there, haven't we? So
people say you speak too much, but that's just other people. I don't say that.
You would never say that, Rich. Would you?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So let's talk about your favourite airline, Mark, Ryanair.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, you do. What was it? Seat 12F, is it? What's your seat?
17F, Rich. Yeah,
17F.
17F. Yeah. And I've got to tell you, I travelled with Ryanair and Jet2 last week. One was delayed and one wasn't. You can guess which one was delayed. There you go.
No, I can't actually, to be honest with you.
Well,
which one?
Well, Ryanair very rarely delayed, Rich. Very rarely. And Jet2 was 2.5 hour delayed. So there you go. You do the maths. But anyway, tell me the story.
Well, Ryanair has changed its family seating policy to allow parents to sit next to their young children, which you thought was normal, really, for most people, without paying a seat reservation fee after an investigation was opened. Adults travelling with children who do not wish to pay for a reserved seat will now be told or now be able to have their children sit next to them for free. After checking, which Ryanair said was their policy was in line with other European airlines. Ryanair boss Michael O'Leary said he would reluctantly adjust to this industry standard, but insisted his long-standing policy fully complied with laws and giving families certainty, which is utter rubbish. To be perfectly honest. So basically what he's saying is that if you want to sit with your kids, which most people normally do,
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
It's happened to me a few times. And when they asked me when they were looking for the parents again, I hid behind them. No, I didn't get it. So basically what he's saying is now that you will be sat towards the back of the aircraft because all the seats at the front will be obviously taken by people who have put their seat up front.
Yeah.
So it was. Listen, I think it was an open and shut case. I don't think he had a lot to answer for, and he had to sort of basically go back to what He's lost the case. Let's be honest with you.
I know.
I know he's like he comes out with a bit of flannel, and just to sort of say that it wasn't my fault, all this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're a parent, you want to be known that you're going to sit with your kids, but at least one parent anyway. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, so, I was listening to O'Leary this week, and I've got to say he's absolutely he's mad for cost cutting and on time. That's all he ever is interested in. It's just, listen, got no delays and cost cutting. Yeah. So he will try to cut the cost of everything and obviously increase his margins as well, because they obviously.
Well, I was about to say margin is probably a big part of what he's
absolutely. And I'm all for it, Richard. I've said all along, with Ryanair, pay for what you want and don't try and cut the corners. Because if you try and cut the corners, I think you told me you got charged for a bag, didn't you? Not so long ago. You are going to have to pay somewhere along the line. Now, I always book, as you said, 17F. I always put the luggage on if I use it, although now I'm just traveling with a rucksack because I'm so sick to death of paying all that. It's quite expensive, mate, like 35 quid or something like that to take hand luggage these days as well. But I think not letting parents sit with their children is probably a step too far, even for Michael O'Leary, Rich, who I think is an inspirational leader. And I think he gets paid in excess of 25 million a year, and he gets paid that because he makes in excess of hundreds and hundreds of millions for Ryanair. So, but interesting enough, I travelled twice last week. I went with Ryanair and Jet2, and Jet2 is delayed and a lot of flannel. And I just thought to myself, I can't remember the last time I was on a Ryanair flight that was delayed for more than maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm a big fan of Ryanair, but I think this one's probably right, Rich. Let the parents sit with the kids if they really have to. Rich, I don't know if you have this in Magaluf, but story went viral this week because there's a poster out there. And I don't like the poster, I've got to tell you. It's a poster from the Ayuntamiento of San Antonio, which is the town hall. And basically they're saying if you walk around in bikini or shorts with no top, you're going to get €750 fine. Do you have that over there, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So I think it's a Balearic wide thing, isn't it? They're all there.
Is.
So it's gone viral this week on TikTok, and people are going, you can't. But I think the story is a little bit more nuanced than that, Rich, isn't it? I mean, the police aren't there waiting to ticket everyone who's got a bikini on, and also it's 36, 37 degrees out there. Although I've got to say, I'm not keen on seeing women walking around in just bikinis, and that's an old-fashioned me there. I never thought I'd say this, but if they're walking the streets in just bikinis, I always feel like, cover yourself up, love. We can see your dinner, all that stuff. So at the end of the day, I don't particularly like it, but I do understand it. It's fashion, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't think what they're saying. I don't think they're saying is, listen, if you wear a bikini, you're going to get charged €750 fine or get fined. What they're actually saying is, we reserve the right if we feel that you're making a nuisance and you're doing things you shouldn't do, then we can fine you there. So, and they're also just trying to clean house a little bit, aren't they? So at the end of the day, I don't think we have to read too much into it. Although, Rich, I've got to say, I don't like the poster. It really does, it makes us feel like authoritarian. Draconian, authoritarian. It takes us back, maybe to the 19th century. I just don't like, I mean, are we losing the free spirit, Rich? That's what I'm trying to say. But
well, I'd say though, interestingly enough, Mike, you said earlier, in your intro earlier, you said we're hotter the UK was hotter than Ibiza. How many people, when you were in Edgbaston or Nottingham or wherever, did you see in their bikinis and tops off?
None.
There you go then.
No, actually, I did see one in Tesco, which was a bit troubling, yeah. But you're always going to find it. It amazes me in the UK when it's so hot, everyone just gets all their old shorts out, and they're not made for it over there. But I think the advice is very simple. On the beach, wear what you like, but walk on the promenade. Please try and just be a bit more respectable, which is what we all want, Rich, isn't it? Really, but we are going into silly season now, I'm afraid, and I think you're going to find that
factory fortnight's coming up, Mark.
It is, mate. I think the jocks are off already, I think, aren't they? First 2 weeks of July, so they're just about.
Well, they've got more time on their hands now. They've been knocked out of the World Cup, mate.
Oh, Richie, I love it, mate.
What is it? The old gag? What is it? They've even had time they could get their money back on their shirts because the 14-day returns hasn't run out yet.
Yeah, I know exactly that. Oh, ouch! I was going to stay away from that, but yeah, listen, they're on the way back already, or they're back already, aren't they? So, but listen, I think the bigger story, Rich, is the misinformation that's spreading online, and I think the government are going to have to just look at that, and they're going to have to be a bit more clever about their signs, really. But all in all, it's storming a teacup, but I just think it could be handled a little bit better.
So we did mention in the intro, more you mentioned more than me, that I blogged last week about Magaluf. I arrived here in 1990, and I've seen Magaluf change quite dramatically over the years. So basically what is really now a luxury destination. Yes, there are still parts that need tidying up. I get that. But if you walk along the seafront, as I did on Saturday, amongst another 10,000 other people, I'll have you know, it was amazing. And if you'd have said 10 years ago that they're going to put the Balearic Symphony Orchestra on the beach in Magaluf, you'd probably be laughed out of town, to be honest with you. But that's what happened on Saturday night. The Ayuntamiento de Calvia put on, it was basically an opening of the new promenade and the beachfront on Magaluf, which always had one of the best beaches in Mallorca, in my opinion. And but obviously they've improved it now. They set up this huge stage where the Philharmonic Orchestra were playing. As I say, they police estimates around about 10,000 people were there. I sat myself down in a restaurant on a terrace, Blackbeard's Beach Bar and Grill. I could basically see the stage from where I was, so I was happy, having a nice bit of food and a few drinks and just watching the show, listening to the show more than watching, really. But the watching part was the drone show for 400 drones putting together an absolutely spectacular show.
I saw the picture online. It was amazing, wasn't it? Gosh.
Oh, so good.
Really good.
The Balearic Orchestra were playing songs from shows and films, basically. So there was Star Wars, Superman.
That's always a winner, isn't it? I mean, that really is a winner. Everyone knows them, don't they? So,
Yeah, The Sound of Music was coming out, everything. And then
from your era then, Rich, yeah?
Exactly, yeah. Higher the hill, Mark. And, and then the drones were putting together pictures to go with the films and the music they were playing. It was very, very good, Mike. I have to tip my hat to the council. I wasn't sure, do you know what I mean? I wasn't sure whether it would be the right thing. But without a doubt it was. And I have messaged the mayor already, said, I'm sure there's many more things you could do with that stage in that situation in the years to come. I don't think it was really, really good. I can't praise it enough.
Rich, what are the numbers telling you about the new strategy for Magaluf? Is it going in the right direction? Are you getting more people? Is it better spends? What are the numbers saying?
Some people might say, as we did a couple of weeks ago, that it did quieten off a little bit. But without doubt, you go to Magaluf and even Palma Nova now, do you know what I mean? The numbers are better. And you're right. Yes, listen, the spend is better.
Yeah.
Without
really,
doubt.
what we need is less people spending more, isn't it?
Well, in reality, yes, because that's what the sustainability people want.
Over the whole of the year. That's what you want. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, does it?
No, it doesn't. But listen, Mark, as I say, I saw nationalities, so many different nationalities, adults, children, just having a good time. It was just nice to see.
I'm all for this, and I think it's interesting what you've done over there in Magaluf. I think we're having a little bit of pushback. I remember I told you last week we're about the Coral player or the Coral Star over here, which is going for adults and kids now as well. So maybe there's some pushback over here, which is needed. Another question, Rich, where do you see it going? What's the end game of this, do you think, for Magaluf? Because you've pushed it in the family direction now. Where does the mayor want to take it?
I think she just wants to extend it out, obviously, because I think front line we're okay. Second line we're getting there. Yeah. Third line needs to be looked at. There seems to be a lot of voluntary purchasing orders coming out for buying up places and knocking them down, making them into parks or parking areas, everything. So that seems to be working. And obviously the elections next year, so that'll be interesting to see who gets in next year. To obviously the mayor, I spoke to him a few weeks ago on radio. He wants to do another 4 years because he said 4 years isn't enough to put through the plans that he wants to, because you know it's like it takes you a year to get your feet bedded in and everything else. You need a coalition, which doesn't help as well. So I think what he's trying to do this time around will probably try and get himself a majority so he can do things how he wants to do them, because at the moment he's obviously pandering a little bit to Vox because they're his partners. So let's see. But listen, I think he just wants to carry on doing what he's doing. Maybe then, look at some other resorts as well. Santa Ponsa might, I think, be the next one on the list to maybe get an improvement as well. And, and just carry. I don't think many people are complaining that this is not going in the right direction. There'll be the odd few, of course.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is changing. It's evolving, Rich, isn't it? That's the thing. It's evolving. Talking about prices, Rich, what's your price range now, would you say? Because we've already talked about the hotels being expensive. What are you paying? So you're at that beach bar today, you're having a meal for two. What's it cost you? €100 for two or something like
that? Well, listen, I have to be honest. I did get a bit of a discount because being a resident, which was nice to see. But I think you're probably looking at in and around about €40 mark per head, Mark.
Yeah,
I think,
it's not bad.
So it's still pretty good, And listen, the quality of the food was great, drinks were great. Where I was sat was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I could probably, didn't want to move. We were going to move to the beach. I said, well, what's the point? We can see it all from here. It's great.
I've always found those price points around there in Magaluf and Palma Nova really good, actually, especially the beach bars. You're paying reasonably. It's not cheap, don't get me wrong, but it's not expensive either. You're paying, reasonable money, but you're getting good food as well. Now, there is a segue to this, Rich. The reason why I say that is because it's hit the news this week, hit the Spanish news, because this is a Spanish influencer, someone called Makoke. I don't know if you've never heard of Makoke. Basically, she was a female. Looks like she was a female quiz master. Was on quiz shows many years ago, about our age, mate. But her son was over, and he was on the front in Ibiza. I believe it was in the port area in Ibiza town, and basically he paid €14 for a beer. You put it online and it went viral. It's gone in all the Spanish papers. You probably won't hear about it in the UK papers, but in the Spanish papers. And sometimes that, yourself, Rich, you can have 20 stories of it in the UK papers and one story in the Spanish papers, and it goes mad over here with the politicians and everything as well. So let's push back a little bit about it, Rich. Frontline in the port area in Ibiza it's not just frontline, Rich. It's premium of the premiums. Yeah, there is going to be a cost for that to be sat there. So €14 for beer, I would say, is slightly high. Usually around there, you're probably looking at 8 or 9 or 10, really. 14, but I think I know the bar that he was in, which is a very expensive bar. As you said before in Magaluf, go 3 roads back, Rich. What are you going to pay? €4, €5? You don't get the view, do you? But you get the price. So you pays your money, you takes your chance, don't you? So at the end of the day, I don't think the problem is the price, Rich. It's perception. And I think when these things go viral, like they do, is everyone go, oh, Ibiza's expensive. Now we know I will push back against anybody who tells me Ibiza is expensive. They say, oh, it's too expensive. I say, really, is it? Well, listen, I go to Cibo and get a menu del dia for 11 euros. I go to Casa Thai and get a menu del dia for 15 euros, which includes, they both include drinks, by the way. So, if you want to go front line, you want to watch the world go by, you want to see the super yachts, and you want to be a bit of a Flash Harry, then you are going to pay a premium, 14 quid. Yeah, go on, pay it. But if you want to go three rows back and give the family business some of your hard-earned cash, then you're going to pay a third of that price.
Martin, you know as well as I do that an influencer or a TikToker won't get the carry that he would normally get if he pays €5 for a beer.
Yeah.
He's gone out of his way to find the most expensive bar he can, prove to himself that, he's done it. At the end of the day, he doesn't have to buy that beer. He's chosen to go and buy that beer. Why has he chosen it? So he can post it online and say, oh, Ibiza's really expensive. It's 14 euros. It's rubbish. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but I find this, it annoys me about people complaining about TV programs and stuff like that. Just turn it off. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bad.
No, but Rich, the problem is perception, and what I've always pushed back against it. So I use this analogy, Rich. Right? You say, come to London, come and see me in London. I go to London, right? I'm going to go. Do you know what I'm going to go up the West End. I'm going to watch a show. I'm going to go to the Ivy. I'm going to go for drinks in Knightsbridge. How much is that going to cost you?
Now, you're doing all right for yourself.
Well, listen, Rich, with our big sponsorship deals for Talking Balearics, I can afford it these days, can't I?
There you go. Yeah.
But so you have a night at West, and you do that. Now, in Ibiza, you can do that night at West every single night for 7 days if you want. So you can spend 500, 600, 700 euros a night easily. If you want to, it's your choice because you've got world-class offerings. However, my version of events, Rich, is let's go to the family place around the corner and spend a tenner on chicken and chips. Pint of shandy costs 3.5 quid. Let's have a few beers with the lads afterwards in one of the local bars. 25 quid, you've had a great night. So there are two sides to every story. But the thing here, Rich, is perception. Now, all we're getting all the time is these so-called TikTok influence. Now, I know you like a bit of TikTok these days, Rich, don't you? I mean, you're always on it, aren't you? Richie Ticky Tocky, we call you these days.
No, mate, it's a day without work it.
But as you say, the problem is you've got all these TikTokers just sounding off about it. And I think sometimes it's left to grumpy old gits like me and you to push back, Rich.
We'll tell you the truth.
Yeah. And you don't have to pay for it. All you have to do is download our podcast on the Apple Podcast.
It's cheap. How about that?
Absolutely. It's for free, Rich.
14 euros for this rubbish. Hey, listen, Mark. A little bit of Ibiza coming to Mallorca. Fatboy Slim is here this Friday, the 3rd of July, doing a concert down in SHD, which is the venue that opens up this week, I think, for concerts all the way through July and August. The calls are coming mid-August, actually, as well. I think ticket sales seem to be going all right for Fatboy Slim. And as I say, a bit of Ibiza coming to Mallorca. I quite like the idea. My son wants to go. I'm not quite sure if I'll get there. But
no, you should go, Rich. I know you've probably seen him before, haven't you? But he's very,
no,
very
I've not
good.
actually. I've not seen him before, actually. No.
But Rich, he's older than me. And you think, what's normal? He's 61, 62 now.
Yeah,
I was watching some old House Martins videos with him the other day, when he was probably like 20. And don't forget, they were number one 40 years ago, right? With Caravan and Love. So 40. So he's got to be early 60s, hasn't he? So old Norm. Yeah. I've got a couple of mates of mine who are very good friends with him. He's a great guy, apparently. But also, his music's great. And don't forget, Rich, he was popular 25, nearly 30 years ago, Rich. 96, was when he was 96 to 2000, probably was when he was really big. So you'll love it, Rich. So I recommend. I've seen him many times. He's very, very good. And he's a bit like Guetta. He really mixes it up, and I would recommend that, Rich. So get yourself there. Let's see that Insta story of you with Norman Cook, aka Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, whatever.
Just talking about that, mate. It's a good segue into it because big news. We've got probably one of the world's biggest DJ collectives coming back to Ushuaia for July, August, and a little bit of September, and it is the Swedish House Mafia.
I was just about to say, is it the Swedish House Mafia?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's good.
Which again, Rich, they were massive 20 years ago. These times are really going on because they're kind of they're a legacy band, aren't they? A bit like Avicii, God rest his soul. These are legacy people who made their name in electronic dance music, and they're massive. They split up. They swore they were never going to get back together again. And guess what, Rich? I think probably the check was too good to turn down. So they're doing a residency in Ushuaia over the next 10 weeks or so. And basically, they help define the EDM era. And, it's going to be very nostalgic, but also it's a commercial one. And I think the interesting thing is now that, you got Ushuaia just bringing back these massive names, Guetta, Calvin Harris, Swedish House Mafia, all these massive names. And it's very Las Vegas, it's very Dubai, but Ushuaia just smash it out of the park. It starts pretty early, by the way. Ushuaia closes about 11 these days as well. I think most of the outdoor spaces close at 11 now because of the noise restrictions. The tickets will sell like hotcakes, and I think people are really, really looking forward to seeing them. And
you obviously know who the Swedish House Mafia are, the three of them, don't you?
Yeah.
I promise you, I've not Googled this at all.
He's just reading it.
I promise you, Steve Angelo, Sebastian Ingrosso, and Axwell. There you go,
there
mate.
You go.
There you go. So they're going to be in Ushuaia, just to recap, they'll be Ushuaia every Sunday through till September.
So listen, Mark, breaking news yesterday was that Real Mallorca released their season ticket prices.
Yep.
And the fans are up in arms.
I saw the prices, mate. They're not good, are they?
Oof. Dear, oh dear. A bit heavy, Mark. So listen, last year I paid just over, I think it was 550 for my season ticket.
Yeah.
This year my season ticket will cost me 415, more or less.
Right.
So a reduction of about 20%, a little bit over 20%. If you want to buy a seat, if you're not a season ticket, or you're not a season ticket from last year, but you want to become one this year, my seat will cost you €700.
Wow. Okay. What? So you've gone down a division.
Yeah, exactly. We've gone down a division. We've lost our manager. We've lost half the squad. We've not brought any players in, and they're pretty much roasting us for prices. I'll give you an example, Mark. Apparently, Oviedo, who got relegated with us, have taken 40% off their prices, and Girona, who also got relegated, have taken 50% off their prices.
Wow,
which I think is a fair thing, to be perfectly honest. They obviously you want the crowd to get behind you in Segunda, because obviously it's not going to be as easy, and obviously the fare that you're going to watch is not going to be the same as watching Lamine Yamal and Jude Bellingham, etc. So we're going to be going to the far off reaches of Spain for our games next year. So I think the club have sort of committed a bit of an own goal, to be honest with you, for want of a better phrase, and not reading the room. Basically,
it's a PR disaster, Rich. That's what it is.
Oh,
and also, when Ibiza went down from the second to Segunda B, or whatever, from the second tier to the third tier, they gave free season tickets for the following year, which I don't think that's an option for Mallorca, but it was a nice gesture, wasn't it? We got free season tickets. So at the end of the day, there is a big difference between Primera and Segunda. There really is. La Liga and La Liga Hypermotion, or whatever it's called these days. There's a massive difference there's a massive gulf in class. So, the ticket should reflect that, but shouldn't it?
Well, listen, the club would say, obviously, that their TV revenue has come down, which we understand. But every single player had written into their contract that they would take a 50% cut in wages if they got relegated. So they pretty much decimated the squad, of which obviously quite a lot was well paid. Mariki was the top paid player, and they got about 20 million for him. So they got 18 million parachute payment plus all the money they're going to get in. One, money they're going to save on wages, and two, the transfer fees they've got in. So they're, without a doubt, they're going to have the best budget in League Two. So could they pass a little bit of that more on to the fans, do you think?
Of course they should have done, because they should have had a gesture. They should have said, listen, straight 25% or 30% off all season ticket prices. We're sorry that we let you down. We're going to come back bigger and better next year. Football clubs are their own micro economy, or they live in their own bubble, don't they, Rich? So it's
unfortunately,
it's not good though, mate, is it? Right, final two from me, Rich. First of all, remember the SuperBog, the public toilet?
Oh yes, how is it?
25th of February, we mentioned it, when it was craned in on the big crane, the big fanfare there. And there was press and TV, and I mean, it's all singing, all dancing bog. And we said, wonder who the first one's going to do a DJ setting and all that stuff as well. Just to let you know, it's now the 30th of June or the 1st of July if you're listening on the release. And it's still not open, Rich. It's still not open. Yeah. I didn't know this because I don't frequent that area that much. And I got a little message today saying, can you please ask when it's going to be open? So I sent a message to my friends in the town hall, and they said, just waiting for electricity to be turned on. There you go. So
you couldn't make it up.
What a great bureaucratic mess that we live in over here, mate. Sometimes it's reassuring it takes so long, Rich, isn't it? But other times you're like, why is it taking 4 or 5 months just to connect some electricity? Also, a friend of mine tells me that it's sinking into the Paseo as well, apparently. So not only is the light not on, it's sinking slowly but surely. So, it's like the Keystone Cops of how to do things, isn't it, really? So, and also, last thing, Rich, the boulevard that I mention a lot, and I think it's a big game changer, the boulevard that's going to take you from the west end of San Antonio all the way to the Sunset Strip, where Cafe Del Mar, Mambo, and all the nice places are on the Sunset Strip from the west end. That opens officially tonight, right? Okay, 7:30, and I'm hoping to get there. So as long as Jules can join me from Seabelt, I'll be going tonight and speaking to all the powers that be, and I'll have some news about that next week.
Good. All right, Mark. Take care.
Perfect, Rich. Good to see you as always. Listen, have a good first week of July.
And you, Mark. Yes, and you.
Looking forward to the stories next week, buddy.
All right, take care, Mark.
All the best, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Make me dance.